Wow, that is a lot we need to go into. Okay, I need to plan this better. Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Elliot and I'm back again with another YouTube video. Now, I get a lot of DMs from you guys, mainly trans men, asking me questions and advice surrounding transition, when I came out, how I came out, tips for coming out, telling me your stories about how you've been out for a while but your parents still don't get it, they can't wrap their head around it, and so on. So I have made this video for you to show your family members or friends that don't quite understand what being transgender is, what it means, what is going to happen to you. So it's all in one video and it explains it in a most detailed but not detailed way possible. That's probably not the best English to use, but we'll go for it. Now, I got you guys to ask me questions on Instagram surrounding all of this. I got you to bring up your personal stories, what questions your parents have been asking, what questions your friends have been asking, so on and so forth. Before I start this video, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Elliot, I'm 17 years old, I'm from England, and I am FTM transgender, which means female to male. Sorry, my phone just went off, that's so rude of me. And I have been out and living as a boy for 4 years now, so it's been a fair amount of time. I've gone through the child services and gender clinic and I'm going into adult. For now, that's all you need to know about me, because this video isn't about me, it's about you and your family member or your friend, so on and so forth. This is all about understanding and educating and learning together. Let's say that. So we have 4 categories, I know, and then subcategories within those 4 categories. So there's a lot to get through today, and I don't know how long this video will be, and I apologise if it's long, but we're doing it for good reasons, right? So the 4 categories are dysphoria, sexuality versus gender, transition, and family life. I think these are the most vital categories to go through right now. So I will only be going over like trans men today, because that is obviously, I'm a trans man, so I will have more to say on that and more of an insight on that. So let's just get straight into it. So our first category is dysphoria. If you haven't heard this word before, what I will do for all of these categories and everything that I'm talking about, I will explain it as if I'm explaining it to a child, as if you've never heard these words before, because that is the easiest way to get things across. So, what is dysphoria? So if you were to type it up on Google, it'd give you a really long and scientific meaning, and you probably wouldn't understand it, because when I first read it, I didn't understand it either. Dysphoria is feeling uncomfortable in your body because you feel as though your sex does not match your gender. Now, this is a subcategory, because what's the difference between sex and gender? Sex is your biological parts and your body. That's what sex is. So my sex is female because I was assigned female at birth. I was born and the girl box was ticked because I didn't have a penis, right? However, my gender is male because gender is up here. Gender is what you feel up here. Is that okay? Have we got that? Is that explained enough? I don't know why I'm looking around, because there's nobody here to tell me that I did that right. Now, one of the questions I see a lot of people will tell me is that their parents, or whoever they're trying to explain them being transgender to, will say, you know, because you're a teenager, if you're coming out at that stage, you know, are you sure you're not just uncomfortable in your body because you're a little bit self-conscious and so on? But that, my friends, we enter another subcategory, body dysphoria versus body dysmorphia. I know, it's confusing, it's lots of big words, but stick with me on this. Body dysmorphia is feeling a bad way. Actually, I'll get Google to tell me what body dysmorphia is. Hey Siri, what is body dysmorphia?
Body dysmorphic disorder, occasionally still called dysmorphophobia, is a mental disorder characterized by the obsessive idea that some aspect of one's own body part or appearance is severely flawed and therefore warrants exceptional measures to hide or fix it. Do you want me to keep?
That was lovely, thank you, Siri. So, I hope that does make sense. If not, I will try and make that a bit easier to understand. So, for example, I'm not saying that every teenager that's self-conscious has body dysmorphia, because that's not what it is. Like, it is a diagnosed thing that you can get. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that is what is kind of being described rather than body dysphoria when you are talking about, oh, you sure you're not just uncomfortable in your body? Body dysmorphia is basically, say I called myself fat, and I genuinely believed I was fat, and I got really upset about the fact that I'm fat, even though it's quite clear that I'm not fat. That is body dysmorphia. I really do hope that makes sense. But body dysphoria, like I've said, is being uncomfortable with your sex compared to your gender. So 2 very different things. So just because your teenager may just be uncomfortable with their body and feel insecure and comparing themselves to other girls, etc., etc., they're 2 very different things. So a lot of trans men have said to me that, you know, their parents will say, are you not just trying to be like a masculine woman? Now, I think you'll find a lot of trans men do try to just be masculine women, but it's not really how it works. So that brings me on to the next subcategory, which is gender expression versus gender identity. Again, very big words, but please stick with me. Your gender identity is what you decide to identify with, so my gender identity is male. Your gender expression is how you choose to look, what clothes you wear, whether you wear masculine clothes or feminine clothes. So, your son, who is trans, because that's why I'm filming the video, has probably already tried to just be a masculine woman, has probably just tried already to be a masculine woman, but it probably didn't work, because I tried that as well and it didn't work for me, because it just doesn't quite do it. So our second category is sexuality versus gender. Now, again, people get a bit confused and people think that sexuality and gender are the same thing. They're not. Your sexuality is who you are attracted to, your gender is who you are. Sexuality and gender have nothing to do with each other. They're completely different. They're not on the same wavelength. They're just not. They're just not. So don't just be like, are you sure you're not just a lesbian? Because it doesn't work like that again. There are trans men that are gay, there are trans men that are bi, there are trans men that are straight. It goes in all different... We come in all different shapes and sizes. But I just wanted that to be clear that gender, sexuality, different things. Okay, my camera ran out of storage, so I don't know if the shot has moved or anything, but I'm sorry if it has. We're now on to our third category, which is transition. And first of all, we're going to be talking about the procedures, what age you can be to do the procedures, what ways you can go, so on and so forth. So, your first procedure, hormone blockers. Hormone blockers, as you can probably guess from the title, block your hormones, they block your puberty, but once you come off them, puberty will start again if that is what you want, so on and so forth. There's many videos explaining puberty blockers, there's much information out there, so I won't go into detail, but that is your first procedure. Second procedure would be testosterone, which is like a hormone, obviously, that you stab in your leg, or you can have it on gel, or you stab it in your stomach for the rest of your life, every month. That is testosterone. It will give you a beard, an Adam's apple, it will make your voice go deep. Again, so much information out there on testosterone, so I don't need to go through it. You can find that yourself. Third procedure would be top surgery, getting these little things off your chest, getting this off your chest, you know, getting rid of the, you know, yeah. That is the third procedure. And the fourth procedure, if you choose to have it, again with all of them, is bottom surgery, so you basically get a penis built for you. So for ages, for each procedure, obviously you have to be at an age where you're going through or going to go through puberty. For hormone blockers, testosterone you can take from 16 plus. If you've been on hormone blockers for a year, remember that. You cannot go on testosterone unless you've been on hormone blockers for a year. That's the rules in the UK. They won't, that's why I'm not on it yet. They won't allow you, if you haven't been on hormone blockers for a year, to have it through child services. Your fourth procedure, obviously surgery, I'm pretty sure you have to be 18, and the same with bottom surgery. I'm pretty sure that's all the ages. I did ask my mum to ask questions as well, or the concerns she had. Yeah, so my mum said her main concern were the treatments ahead of me, testosterone, chest surgery, etc., and how to get through those times safely and effectively. As long as you talk to people you trust about it, you have doctors you can trust, you have surgeons you can trust, you'll be fine. There's many trans people out there who have been through these procedures long before your child will have to go through them. And long before you will have to go through them if you are going to go through them. So please don't worry about that. As long as you are not buying testosterone off the fucking web, really dodgy, don't do that, then you can be as safe and protected. So, a lot of people will say, you know, you're too young to be able to make that decision. You're too young to know. You're too young this, you're too young that. And for me, I've never really understood that point of view. There's been trans kids that have come out at 4 years old knowing they were a boy or a girl. And looking back, I knew from a very young age that I wasn't a girl. I wouldn't necessarily say I knew I was a boy, but I knew that I wasn't a girl. Obviously, I didn't know what transgender was or anything because I was young. But I would never say you're too young to know yourself, because you have to live in your body. So please take that into account. They have had to live in their body every single day. You're not the one that has to do that. So please be considerate when you tell people, you know, oh, it's just a phase, or oh, you're too young to know. No. No, it's like, people will ask me, but how did you know you wanted to be a boy? Like, how did you know you didn't want to be a girl? I have nothing to compare it to. I've never felt like I wanted to be, I've always felt like a boy. I've never felt like I wanted to be a girl or I was a girl. So I have nothing to compare it to. Just like you probably have no idea how to compare like your gender with the other gender. Like, how would you feel like that? It doesn't make sense. It's weird. This is actually the final category. We've done this quite quickly and I'm kind of scared about it. But the 6th category is family life, and we're going through impact on siblings and parents' worries. First of all, if you are worried about your child's siblings not being... I don't really know about the impact on siblings and how this would have any relevance. I know my sister said when I first came out she felt like she was losing a sister, which she did, but she gained a brother and now we're closer than ever. Just because your sibling is changing their gender doesn't mean they're changing their personality as well. They're literally just changing their name and their pronouns. That's basically it. Maybe their hair, like... And if you're like me, it wouldn't have been a drastic change anyway. Like, I wore boys' clothes, I had short hair, I, did the boys' sports. So it wasn't really any different. It was just a different name and different pronouns. And I think that's what a lot of people have to remember, is it's not a massive change, because you're not getting like a new sibling. It's still going to be your sibling. It's still going to be the same person. Just you're going to see them a little bit differently, but that will make them happier. And parents' worries. I've left this till last because I feel like this is a very big one. A lot of parents will be scared when their child tells them that they are trans. And that is completely understandable. You have every right to be scared. The world is a scary place, and your child, I'm guessing, is your most important thing in your life. The most important thing in your life is probably your children. So you have every right to be scared. Like, the world is scary. We're going through a lot at the moment. And the trans community, we do still get hate to this day. A lot of people will think we don't, but we do. And it will be hard for your child. But you've got to be there for them, and you've got to step up and make sure that you're telling them that it's going to be all right. Because if their own parents aren't telling them that it's going to be all right, and they see that you're scared for them, that's not going to make them feel good. You need to listen to them, take your time to process what they are telling you, but remember that they're still your child, and that's never going to change. Just because they want to change their gender doesn't mean they're not going to be your child anymore. You should still love them the exact same as before, and you should respect how they want to live, because they're the ones having to live in their body. Listen to their name, listen to their pronouns. And if it's making them unhappy, I don't see why you would want to do that to your child. I don't know. Just remember, this may seem like it's a big thing now and loads is changing, but in the long run it's not that big, and it doesn't have that much relevance to your life at all. It will affect your child dramatically, but you've got to be there to help them get through that and to support them, and know that you'll always be there and love them. So if you have not already, please tell your child that you love them for who they are, and you always will accept them and support them, because it is one of the best feelings knowing that your parents will support you. So please do not deprive your child of that feeling, of that safety and security. That is it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. Please share it around and show it to people that you think need to listen to this. This video has been quite hard to make. It's been hard to put everything into one video. And as I said, like, there might be more videos where I go into more depth on specific things, but for now, this is a general video for you to show whoever you need to show it, and it not come from your mouth, because sometimes it's easier to hear other people say it than, it might just be a wake-up call. And I really hope that you've learned something from this video, or it has helped you in some way understand a bit more about the trans community. Just remember, things will get better. I love you, I support you, and I think you are valid, and there will be many, 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 many people that will think you're valid and that will support you and love you for who you are. So please keep being you no matter what. Stay safe though, and have a good year. Bye. Hope you enjoyed. I don't want to put my hand over the camera because I want to stop that outro, but yeah, that should be a thumbnail.